Hey guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be going over my do-it-all rifle. This is a rifle that I have a lot of pride in. Spent a lot of time and money building this particular setup, and we're going to be talking about it today. I call this my do-it-all rifle. There's no such thing as a rifle that can do everything, but what I built here is something that is close to it in my opinion. Hopefully what you can get out of today's video is how you can build your own. Some of the things that I have you can think about including in your own weapon. I think that everyone in America should own their own firearm. All right, so we're gonna be going over everything on this rifle from tip to butt, and so let's get started. This is a Geissele URGI upper receiver, a 14.5 inch barrel with a pin and welded muzzle brake in the front with the 4-prong. And the reason why I got this upper receiver is just because I've seen like countless of people that use this particular setup. It's got this M-LOK rail system that's pretty lightweight, and it's pretty reliable. It's got the Picatinny rail on the top so you can mount all the things that you need to. But I just seen a lot of people use this, like Grantham. Another YouTuber that I see a lot is Recce Randy. And so these are some of the guys, for example, that I look to for some of the things that they use, and so that's why I picked this up receiver. In addition, right here we have a Surefire Pro Scout Light. It's a little long. After putting more things on this weapon, I realized that having a bigger light is not necessarily better. It's a more powerful light than like the Scout Mini, like the smaller Pro flashlight. So that's one that I'm gonna trade for this one. I'm gonna replace it and get a smaller light just because of the weight factor. It gets pretty heavy after a while. To follow along with that, I do have a Surefire pressure pad switch. So I got a temporary pad right here, and then I have a constant on right here on top. I just got this pad just because it's more comfortable, when I have my hand on the foregrip right here, or the hand stop, whatever you want to call it. And it's just easier to actuate for myself. And then right here in the cable management system that I have, it's from a company called Emissary Development. So I got these little things that go into the M-LOK that mitigate the snagging and stuff like that from your gear or trees or branches or anything like that. So it keeps it like low profile where the wire is. And I also, from that same company, Emissary Development, I got this foregrip or hand stop. I just like how this is set up. It fits well in my hand. I have no complaints. It hasn't done anything wrong for me, so I really like this one. Playing out there, it's just, you just kind of, this is when you start getting into like cosmetic stuff onto your weapon. So this is just the one that I've chosen. This bipod right here is a Magpul bipod. I got this bipod actually from a friend of mine. I got it for, discount. So it was pretty cool. I mean, I didn't have a bipod on it prior. Using it and getting, good stabilization, when you have the rifle, like when you have the weapon, you can be able to shoot out further using a tripod. The only thing that I don't like about this particular tripod is it's got this panning feature where it'll move like this. And so when it does that, you might not be centered and square off to you in the rifle. And I don't really like that. I'd rather it not do that. And it's a little bit harder to, you have to push this button here to be able to press it up and retract it. And it's easy to get down, but I just don't like how you gotta press that button to go back up. So I might be looking into getting a different bipod here soon, maybe from Harris or Atlas, but this is just the one that I currently have on right now. Now let's get moving to the back. So here is, I would say, like the main piece of this weapon. It's the most expensive actually too, is this. This is a Vortex Razor 1-10. So I chose this LPVO scope just because I know that being able to use this LPVO, I can get out to longer distances, whereas with the red dot, you can only do so much. Maybe with a magnifier, you can throw it on there and you can reach out further distances. But just with this LPVO, I just thought it was crazy, like the amount of capability it has. And so I figured that I would just get one of these myself. So that's why I went with this LPVO. On top, I put what's called an Acro P2. It's a red dot. And so the reason why I got this one is because it's a closed emitter red dot, meaning weather, rain, all this stuff, like it's all impact in this one thing right here. So it's not really going to get messed up that much. It's less likely that it'll get messed up due to like the weather and the climate and stuff like that. So that's why I chose this one. The open emitter red dot is kind of like a projection, like my Trijicon RMR. It mud or anything, debris can get into that little space where the projector shines. And so I like this one just because you can scrape off the mud or whatever may get into there, and that's why I got this red dot. Now what you'll find out here on my Vortex, on my LPVO, and my red dot here, which is this little thing right here, is a company called 100 Concepts. And so they make these little like 3D printed like scope caps, which is these right here. And so I like them. I like them primarily just because it'll keep my optics protected from any kind of debris. It'll just keep them clean. Or like if there's like morning dew in the morning or anything like that, like if there's weather, you don't want them to get all wet. You want them to be as clear and crisp as That's why I got these. The other thing is you'll find out here in the front that you have this little like honeycomb type of deal. And you also have it here. And so when you're aiming at something or you're surveilling something, with these little things right here, you won't be able to get any sort of like flash from like the sun or anything like that. So that way no one would be able to target you or identify where you might be, your location. So this is just to mitigate that risk. And that's why I like this particular part that they put on there. Then right here, this is called a throw lever. So this throw lever, the one that comes from Vortex, it's just a real simple like metal piece, but while it's real small and it does work, I got this knob from HRF Concepts. And so they make this knob so that way it's a little bit more, it's bigger, it's just easier to maneuver. And I just liked it. it's a little thing sometimes that make a difference. So I just threw it on there and I just like how it feels a lot better moving it around. And then now we'll go on here to my mount. So my mount that I have on this particular weapon is going to be from Badger Ordnance. So Badger Ordnance it's a pretty well-known company. I've seen a lot of good reviews and people that use them, and I just thought that this was a good piece to have. It was easy to purchase and to put on, and that's just what I chosen to go with. There's many other options out there on the market, but this is the one I chose from Badger Ordnance. And right here I have a spacer for my Acro P2, so I can put it in that 12 o'clock position. So I also want to talk about why I have this in the 12 o'clock position. So what I mean by that is I have it at the 12 o'clock position instead of it being canted, which is like off to the side right here. And the reason why I have that is because if I am trying to shoot long distance with my LPVO and I'm gonna have it magnified all the way, it's gonna be very hard to find the target. So what I use is the red dot. So I use the red dot to find where that target is and identify it. And then I'm able to just move on down to where my optic is, and I'm able to find that target a lot faster. So that's one of the reasons why I have the red dot on top at the 12 o'clock position. The other reason is one day when I am able to afford night vision, you can do what's called passive aiming. So when you have the weapon like this, and you have your NVGs mounted right here from your helmet, you're able to see that red dot and be able to passively aim. The next thing that I have here on my upper receiver is going to be my bubble level. So I have this, so if I have any sort of cant on my weapon, I'm able to figure out if I'm level or not. This one's just a cheap one that I got from Amazon. It's nothing crazy. It works, and it hasn't done me wrong since. So now we'll go into my charging handle. So the reason why I have this Radian Raptor charging handle, the SD version, is that way when I do go suppressed and I put a suppressor on here, it works efficiently, and the gases are going to be able to go in and out of the gun efficiently. The next thing we'll go into is the lower receiver. So with the lower receiver, I got what's called the Radian ADAC lower. And the reason why I got this one is because it's ambidextrous, meaning whatever I can do on this side of the weapon, I can do on the other side. The safety is on both sides. And so the reason why I got this is just because if anything happens where I need to, switch my position, or maybe someone grabs my weapon and they're lefty for some reason, they can be able to use this weapon efficiently, just the way that they would use their own. So this is for me, and it could be for someone else if they just grab my weapon if they needed. So the next thing that I have is, we'll go over is my trigger. The trigger that I have right now on this rifle is Geissele SDE. It's a 2-stage trigger, and so I really like this trigger. This is like the first trigger that I've used that is like super crisp. And so from the original position to get into the wall is very easy. But once you get to the wall, there's very little play or mush, if you want to call it, from the wall to when it fires. And that's what I like most about this trigger. So here it is. So having a really nice, good, crisp trigger is very good when you're shooting long range. It's going to help out a lot, just be able to stay on target and get a good, clear trigger pull. And that's why I got this particular trigger for this weapon. And the next thing we'll go over is my pistol grip. So I've used several different pistol grips, but this one in particular I found from a company called Driven Arms Company. It's awesome. I just love how it feels. Like right here it's got a full like 90-degree straight grip, and in the back it kind of it curves to like where your hand is, and it's pretty thick from the bottom. So when you grab it, it feels like it's natural, like it's super natural, like it's second nature. It feels great. And so now getting into the back portion of the weapon, I have an HD spring and I have the HD spring weight that comes with the Geissele upper receiver. So with that, the bolt carrier group that's also from Geissele, it works in unison with the buffer spring and the weight that comes with it. And so the reason why I have H3 is the H3 is good for suppression when you have a suppressor on here. And so I have a suppressor, I have the suppressor charging handle, and I have the H3 suppressor, HD suppressor spring and weight. So it all gonna work in unison once I put the suppressor on there, and that's why I got it. And the last thing right here is the buttstock. And so here what I have on the buttstock is a CTR from Magpul. The reason why I got that is just because it's pretty slimline and you can put, you know, all the goodies like I have on it. This right here on top is gonna be a Magpul cheek riser. So I cut this right here because it was a little bit too far. So when I moved the charging handle, it wouldn't cycle through and it wouldn't eject the round properly. So that's why I had to cut it where it's at right now. But it helps me be able to get right behind this optic. Then down here I have an Arisaka adapter for a bag. So you can put a bag in the back over here so you can have more stability. So you got the bipod and you have the bag down here so you have more stability when you're shooting longer distance. So if you notice here in the buttstock, so right here where it has the tan, it's kind of angled, and it's angled like that. So it's very hard to get square when you're shooting behind the gun, especially when you're shooting long range. You want it to be as flat as possible. And so for that reason, I put an Arisaka mount right here in the back. And so that mount's able to attach a limp saver pad, which is it's a cushion rubber recoil pad, and so that way I'm able to move it wherever I need to, and so I can be square when I get up on that buttstock from the back. All right, guys. So overall, this is my 14.5 rifle build. I'd call it my jack of all trades, my do it all type of rifle. So I use that very loosely because there is no do it all rifle. There's no such thing. Each rifle is going to have its trade-off, right? Whether you're shooting 5.56, 308, or you're shooting a sniper rifle, like each caliber has its own pro and con. You know, depending on what sight you get, or whether you have like this 12 o'clock or canted, like it's going to have its pros and cons for everything. But this is what I ended up choosing. So I wanted to get one rifle that not necessarily can do it all, but can do what I need. And so I made this rifle and I put a lot of money into this rifle because I just want one rifle that I can train with consistently and I can get comfortable with and just used to. So if something were to ever happen, I'm picking this one up over anything else because I am just more proficient with this build. So as you shoot and as you train, you're gonna try and figure out what you like and what you don't like. And you're gonna be able to customize your builds to your liking based on your needs, your situation. Now, the most important thing is gonna be to get out there and start training. You can have every cool thing on a weapon. You can have the best weapon in the world. But if you don't have any training and you're not skilled, you're not gonna last very long. So it's important that you train and that you continue to be consistent with it, because shooting is a perishable skill. And if you don't continue to refine your skills and your training and continue to learn, just like anything else, you will lose the skills over time. That's why it's important to dry fire, get into different things where you are using this. And lastly, what I want to talk about is fitness. So in our channel, we're talking about being tactically fit. And so you can be as tactical with all the skills and all the knowledge on any weapon system or just how to move. But if you can't move, if you're not fit, if you're not healthy, if you're not taking care of yourself and your fitness, and you can't move, then this will only help you so much, right? So we can't just rely on our tools, but we also have to rely on our body. We only have one body. You can buy all the weapons, you can switch things out if they break or anything like that, but your body, you only get one. So that's why it's very important that we continue to eat right, stay healthy, and work out and train. That's cardio, that's being in the gym, that's doing calisthenics, anything that you need to start just being in shape. I think that's a big problem nowadays, is we rely on other things or other people to get things done. But I think now in today's world, we need to be able to take care of ourselves with tools, but we also need to be able to take care of ourselves physically. Because if our family or anyone needs us, that's what we need to rely on, is our physical ability. All right, guys, well, this is my go-to rifle, my do-it-all rifle. Let me know what you guys think about it and what kind of weapon that you guys are putting together down in the comment section down below. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more content like this, make sure you subscribe. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video.